So you wanna be a picture book writer, then you gotta write picture books. And you're gonna need a bucket load of bright ideas for titles, plots, and hooks. If you're partial to prose or you're raring to rhyme, then repeat after me, it's a challenge, but I'm gonna tackle each story 1 month at a time with 12 by 12.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode number 2 of the 12 by 12 Picture Book Podcast. And you can probably tell I'm very excited because today I get to introduce to you one of the most amazing people on earth in general, just never mind 12 by 12, but also the person without whom 12 by 12 would not happen. And that is Ms. Kelli Panique. She
Hi.
we were talking ahead of this recording, trying to think, do we even have a title for you? Um, and we don't, because we realized that there's no title that actually fits. So here's a challenge for our listeners, especially those of you who've been members for a while. And this is how we'll know that you've listened to this episode. If
Right.
you have ideas for what Kelly's title should be, this is going to be like one of those caption this episodes.
Exactly. Exactly.
What should Kelly's title be? Because we were thinking community wizard. No, I mean yes, but
Yes,
also
but
that's
yeah.
not only it. Project manager is yes, but way too staid and boring,
Yeah. Well, there are
you
so many
know?
projects.
Right, and right. So suffice it to say that Kelly and I are a team, and we've been a team for what, 14 years. I
Yeah,
think you
yeah.
came in the third year,
I thought
second
it was
year?
2013, I think.
Okay,
Right after
2013.
registration because
Okay, that's
a
right.
mutual friend was like, "You need a Kelly."
Yes, I did. And little did I know how much I needed a Kelly at that
Yes.
point, but I did need a Kelly. And the amazing thing is that you came in, and I remember very clearly one of the first things that I said to you was, you are customer facing.
Hmm.
So this is not a a job where you're just all in the background and I'm all in the front. Like, I want you to be interacting with all of our members.
Yes.
And you really took that to heart, like right away. And so you're here today, not just as the whatever title of the team of 12 by 12, but also because you will be a co host of this podcast. So
Another job to add to
another
my
job, right? Uh, and so what you can expect from us is random, right? Sometimes it will be me interviewing somebody. Sometimes it will be Kelly interviewing somebody. Sometimes it will be Kelly and I talking to each other about something important. Sometimes it will be just one or the other of us. And sometimes both of us will interview someone. So I think this is going to be part of the appeal of the podcast is, what are you going to get this week?
Yeah,
Who are
yeah.
you going to get? um, but that's by way of very informal introduction. But Kelly, why don't you talk about what it was like for you first joining 12 by 12 and how you felt about that kind of mandate of being customer facing. I'm sorry. I'm laughing. If you're if you're not on YouTube, if you're listening to this, Kelly's Basset Hound Duke just ran in and out of the frame. He provides us with endless entertainment.
I think he's working on some zoomies there. So we'll
Yeah.
see if he runs back in or not. Well, gosh, yeah. So like I said, it was Katie Davis who introduced us because I was doing some virtual assistant work for Katie, and then she's like, I have a friend who needs some help, and do you know anybody? And so Julie had sent me all these different things of what she was looking for and somebody to help her, and I was like, well, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. Well, I can learn that. I can, and I was like, I could do this if you don't, I can do all of these things. I just have to learn the programs that you have. And you were like, okay. And like you said, you remembered saying it was customer facing, but the word that I remember from one of our first conversations was this is a community.
Mm.
When we talked about setting up like a customer service email, and I was like, well, we could just do support at julieheadland.com. I think 12 by 12 was still on julieheadland.com at
It
that point.
was. It was.
And you were like, no, 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 no. You have a name. You're going to be Kelli at julieheadland.com. People are going to know you. This is a community. I want this to be a community. I want everybody to feel like, they're a part of this, including you. You're not on the outside looking in. You're part of the community too. And the thing that amazes me is that I mean, we took that and ran, but not only that, but our members took that and ran, and it truly is a community, and it's really one of the things I love about working with you is that it does feel like we're hanging out with our friends and doing, when we do a book chat or we do a webinar, it just feels like we're bringing more people into the fold. And then for those of you who are not members yet, when we do registration and people come into the Facebook group, we made a huge deal of welcoming people. And I am known as one of my other things is the gift queen, the GIF queen, however you want to pronounce it. So, we're always doing whatever we can to make everybody feel a part of the community. We work very hard not to, it's not us and them, it's not new people and old people. It's like just jump in because if you're here, you're part, your family, to quote a
That's right.
to
Yeah.
quote a ad line from somebody else. But
Yeah. Well, we do
yeah,
call it, to quote our own, we do call it
yes,
the friendliest writing community on earth for a reason, because that's
yeah.
what we strive to make it. And our members do take that on board.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think that what really speaks to that is that we have so many members still with us who were with us when I started back in 2013. And when I started in 2013, when you started in 2012, I don't know that anybody had an agent yet. Like everybody was very new to this dream of writing picture books. And I remember one of the first people I think that got an agent was Marcy Colleen, and we made a big deal on the blog about it, and and then slowly other people, and then like Julie Rowanzock had a book she illustrated, and that was on our website for a while. It was like, look, there's a 12 by 12 book. And those people are still with us. So as time has grown and those people who were with us near the beginning have gotten agents and have published books and have won awards, to speak to the community aspect, they all come back, and they don't just come back like, oh yeah, Julie, I want to support you, here's my check. It's they come back and they offer their experience to other people. So if a new writer gets on there, because picture book writing in the industry is kind of vague, like there is no like here's how you do it, XYZ, 1, 2, 3. And so people get on there and ask a question, and it's those people that have been around for a while who come in and say, here was my experience. Hannah Holt has been around for a long time. She's really good at that, about just going, well, here's what happened when I was in this situation. And a lot of our more experienced writers are so willing and enjoy helping along the next group. And like I said, it's not just in name, they're just Kirsten Larson is one of those too. It's just I think that really speaks to the community aspect, as it's not just a name, it's they really are, it really is an action
right.
in our group. And I love that.
One of the things that occurred to me over the past few weeks as I've been thinking about 12 by 12 and registration opening, because we are currently in the registration period for 2026, is that what I think is so special about 12 by 12 is it's big, right? You've got a couple thousand people, give or take,
Yeah.
but we're really small at heart.
Yes.
And I got thinking, how do we achieve that exactly? And it came to, I think because we're all, first of all, because people will ask, why do you close membership? Why don't you just leave it open all year
Yeah.
round? And by the way, we do close this year on February 15th. So if you're listening before February 15th, you can still join us for 2026. But one of the reasons, the most important reason why I made that decision is because I want everybody who's there to be committed for that year, and so that we get to know each other, we get to, it's like, okay, now we're all here. And then everybody, people show up at the webinars and come in the Facebook group, and you start to, even brand new people, you start to recognize their names the more that they're
Right.
participating.
Yep.
And then people meet at events, and it feels small, even though it's large in terms of what you get or what you can learn or what you have access to,
Hmm.
because we have so many resources there. But our goal really is to make it feel like, oh, this was made just for me. I needed this information today and I got it, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
And I needed this piece of encouragement or this piece of advice, and I either it was available in the forum or someone answered my question,
Yeah.
or I watched a webinar today and learned that thing.
Right, right,
Um,
right. And I think also, Julie, I think, I mean, a lot of it, most of it, I think comes from you. I think you really set the tone. You're not just, I'm the founder of 12 by 12, and then you never participate in anything, like you were in that Facebook every day practically as well, and you're not afraid to comment on, whatever the topic at hand may be, and to get into discussions with people about things and to help people out. And I just think that's part of it as well, is I think everybody feels like they know you because you are you in the group. And
well,
I
thank
also
you.
think, yeah, of course. I also think when you talk about us being small at heart, I think you really see that when you do get to go to in-person events. the the one we went to ALA a few years ago, and I just couldn't, it was like going to a reunion, only I had never like met any of these people in real life before, but I felt like I know them all, right? Because I followed their books, and I've emailed with them for various things, and I've talked to them on Facebook, and and then you see them and you're like, "Oh my gosh, can I give you a hug?" I feel like you know. And I think you have that same experience at other conferences as too, right,
For
Julie?
sure. Every time. In
Yeah.
fact, one recent one was NCTE, National Council of Teachers of English Conference. And I shared a room with Michelle Cusalito, who is a dear friend and a longtime member. And we had never met in person,
I can't
but
believe that.
I know, but we had absolutely zero qualms
Right.
about sharing a room. And my partner was like, wait, you said this person was a dear friend, but you're sharing, like, you're sharing a room with somebody you've never met. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I know her inside and out. I am not worried
Right.
about it.
Right.
And
Right.
her husband had the same reaction. And this is just maybe TMI, but we were in a double room, and we were talking before, lights out, and we were like facing each other, like she was in her bed and I'm in my
Yeah.
bed, and
Right. Like camp.
it felt like a little sleepover,
I love that. I
from the
love that.
days of yore. It was so much
Yeah.
fun. And then we also at NCTE, we did a big 12 by 12 dinner that was super fun, and we did went to a dueling piano bar. And so I try to, and I know you do this too. I I try to think what would I enjoy? What would be fun for me? What do I need? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I will say that's one of the big advantages of being the founder is like every year when I set the webinar program, it's very self-interested. And I know everybody loves the webinars, and if you go to our website, you'll see our schedule for 2026 is amazing. And I know I say that every year, but it's really true. And a lot of it comes from, you know, what would I want to learn? What's hot? What are the gaps? And I think that's one advantage of being just exclusively focused on picture books
Oh,
is
definitely.
that we can put everything through that filter. How does this really impact picture book authors and illustrators?
Yeah.
What would you say would be like, okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Oh boy.
What would you say your most favorite thing about working with 12 by 12 and what would you say is your least favorite thing?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, obviously, my most favorite thing about working in 12 by 12 is working with you.
Aw. I wasn't expecting you to say that. I thought you would say working with the members, but thank you.
Well, I mean, I think you and I have, I think we've kind of become best friends, Julie.
It's true.
Speaking of knowing each other inside and out,
Right.
but no, we work really well together, and that is enjoyable for me, and it helps in doing all the other things that um you have like the big ideas, and then I get to make those big ideas happen, and that's exciting for me because not only does it make you happy and like you to see these things come to fruition, but then I know how great it's going to be for our members too, and so I get to kind of see that big picture of all of it, um
Well,
and you've always yeah, go ahead.
before you get to the least favorite thing, I want to keep us on the positive here for a
Yes,
second
yes.
because I want to give a really great example of what you just said about how I have ideas and and some of them are maybe really great and some of them may be a little harder to implement than I imagine. But as an
Julie, they're all harder to implement than you imagine. I just don't
well,
tell you all
okay,
the details.
right. That's true. But a very relevant one super recently was we're getting on a call maybe a month before registration for 12 by 12 is
First
going to
week of
open.
December.
Was it? And I said, Kelli, what do you think about 12 by 12 doing a podcast? And to you, I wish I could have taken a screenshot of your face because you absolutely went still. It's like you've trained yourself. I'm not going to react and let me absorb this and think about it for a minute. But truthfully, you were just on board. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
Let's do it. What do we
yeah,
need? Yes, you
yeah.
know? And I was already really excited about starting a podcast, but after that conversation with you, I was on fire. We had
Yeah.
all these ideas, we were talking, and you were just immediately into it. And of course, you have experience producing the Picture Book Summit podcast for us and
Yeah.
all of this. So once again, it's one of those things where I literally could not do it without you. So you had to say yes in order for this to happen. So
Yeah.
the reason that you are listening to this podcast today is because Kelli said yes.
Yeah. Well, because we work well together as a team. I mean,
Right,
that's the way that works. So,
right.
yeah, I've taken to calling Julie's December ideas, the December bomb because because November, December is when I start working ahead to try to work ahead towards registration because that's coming. I try to set up like Picture Book Summit, and we also do the complete picture book submission systems together. So I try to set all of those things up so they can kind of run themselves during 12 by 12 registration. So I'm trying to get things going, and I'm like, okay, I'm on it. We're in the groove. We're gonna make it happen. And then Jilly goes, I have an idea. The first week of December every year.
I think the writing equivalent for this is plotter versus pantser.
I
Guess
think
who
you're
is
right.
who?
I think you're
Guess who
right.
is who? Um, no, that's totally true, and I will absolutely totally confess to that. And the reason
So in
is,
2024, that bomb was, we're going to do 12 days of giveaways to count down to the registration of 12 by 12.
yeah, yeah,
So so mid-December, I'm like writing 12 more emails. So,
it's
but they're
true.
all good ideas. They're great ideas. So of course I want to jump in and make them happen, even if they weren't on my calendar. So, and I know a lot of you have benefited from those giveaways. I think a lot of you are going to benefit from this podcast, you know? So
Yeah,
it's,
hopefully that's the idea.
again, it's that thing I said, it's making your ideas come to fruition, but it's also in service to our community. And it really, I don't know that we have a proper mission statement, but if we did, these are things that serve that mission statement, because I think it's all about us trying to serve the larger picture book writing community.
Right. I think we
Yeah.
do, but now that you mention it, I'd probably have to go. I mean, I know obviously community, but also being a lifelong learner is
Yeah.
a big one.
Yeah.
And
These are
we
values
try
that
to
we
make
really
sure
hold
that no
dear.
matter where you are in your writing journey, you'll find something more than
Yeah.
something, many
Right.
things
No, we want to
that
be
will
a sense
benefit
of
you.
belonging and a sense of education and support when you're part of our community, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now because we have to make we don't want to make this just a commercial for 12 by 12
Right.
as fun as that would be for
Yeah.
us. So I'm going to go back to putting you on the spot because I think people like a little bit of dirt. And so what's your least favorite thing about
All
working
right.
12 by
This
12?
is not gonna surprise you probably, Julie, but my least favorite thing is when I spend all that time writing all those emails and then people don't read them. And it happens. I get it. There's a lot going on. We just want to skim through things, or I don't have time to read that thing. Um, but you know, it happens quite often that somebody will hit reply and ask me a question that is actually answered in the email that they're replying to. And I'm sure that I've done this too. I mean, I get it. 12 by 12 is like the one of the cores of my universe, so I pay attention to every detail. And I know for a lot of other people, you have other things in your lives. I understand that, but sometimes I'm just like, okay. And I just write out a nice little answer and copy and paste from the email. And so that's probably the hard thing, you know, is you put all
Yeah.
that work into something and then you're like, it's just pay attention to the thing I worked on. So
That's so funny. We do send a lot of email,
we
but
do
it
send a lot
is
of emails. So some of
valuable
that is on us.
email.
I get it.
Yeah. But it's all important stuff. Like when are the
Yeah.
webinars? When are things expiring? When's group
Right.
chat? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I have over the years have changed some things around to try to send fewer emails. So like a couple years ago, we started sending on the first day of the month, we send out like everything that's happening this month and all the replays that are available, you know, things like that, or, you know, combine replays together. I know, but still, we do send a lot because we just have a lot going on we want you to know about. So
Well, I think it's also one of these things where your strengths can also be a weakness. So, one of the strengths of 12 by 12 is like the Facebook group is so responsive. Like, if you go and ask a question,
right.
people will answer you like it seems like it's immediate. So, but the flip side to that is sometimes maybe instead of digging through and to find an email,
Right.
people are like, it's just easier if I go and ask
Right. Right.
this,
Right. Yeah.
and I'll probably get an answer.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
And if you email us, we'll answer you and I will be, you know, I will use that
well,
opportunity to connect with you and tell you to have a great day and all of those things. But inside it's a little
it's hurting.
it's a
And,
little
and
pet
and
peeve of
we
mine.
have to give props to Carol for
Yes.
the Carol Monroe, who is assistant to 12 by 12, and she does a lot of the stuff behind the scenes,
Yes.
including responding to many of those emails,
Yes. Yes.
and
Carol is a godsend.
ha-
She's fantastic.
helping with the forum and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that I thought would be fun to share, some some people may not know this, but anybody who's been in 12 by 12 for a long time would probably not be surprised at all to find out that we were both cheerleaders in high school.
Not only that, we were born the same year. We were born like 6 weeks apart, so we graduated the same year. Like we are,
Yeah, so it's like mind meld
it
a lot
really
of the
is.
time.
It really
A lot of
is.
the
It really
time.
is. Yeah.
And so, but that cheerleader attitude, I
Hmm.
think, for
No,
better,
yeah.
for better or worse,
Yeah.
right? Because we know, not all cheerleaders, sometimes the reputation is, maybe not so great, but the attitude of wanting to make things fun and pick people up when they're down, and
Yeah. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
of these, and celebrate the
I think I
wins.
joked with you earlier that one of my titles could be head cheerleader because I just feel like
Exactly.
I've been cheering all of these people along. And I can't tell you how many people I've watched like be a new member and then then they get the gold membership and they're submitting and then they get an agent and then their book comes out and you're like, oh,
Right.
so yeah, no, I feel like that's been a huge part of my job
And
all
for
this
those
time.
of you who are, yeah, I was just going to say, behind Kelli, if you're on YouTube, if you're watching this, you can see that she has a spectrum of books behind her that are all written and or illustrated by 12 by 12 members,
Yeah,
including Song After Song, The Musical
of
Life of
course.
Julie Andrews. But we have Dinos That Drive by Susie Levinson, who was one of our book chat speakers. Stacy Jensen, Before I Lived Here, one of our book chat speakers. Bella
She
and
was a charter
Lily.
member, right?
She was a charter member, and
Yeah.
I did the math on how many drafts she wrote. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look at the presentation, but it was like 150
Yes,
drafts that
over
she's
like
written.
4 years or something. But there was a
Like,
couple of years where she wrote like 38 drafts or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then I
So,
don't know if you could see it way back there is Raja's pet camel, and that was a scholarship application that became a book.
yeah, we
And then
We have so
any lane
many, and one
cranks
of
down
the,
here.
speaking of cheerleader, that's one thing Kelli is better at doing than I am, is every time she goes to the bookstore, she'll take a picture of herself with all the 12 by 12 books and post them on our social media
My
and
family knows. They just let me go.
right.
Like, I'll be in the kids section. Of course you will. Yes, I will, because it's so exciting.
All right. So as we wrap up, because really just wanted to introduce everybody to you and let them, if they're not a member of 12 by 12, experience for themselves your energy and optimism, and get them ready for these episodes where either you'll be hosting or we'll be doing them together.
We're
But
gonna have a great time.
it's going to be awesome. We already
Yeah.
are having a
We are
great
having a
time.
great time.
Um,
Now other people get to enjoy our great time.
that's a very good way of putting it. Tell us, like, give us a couple of Kelli facts that people might not know.
Oh, let's see. I grew up in Southern California, about like an hour from the beach, but also an hour from the desert and an hour from the mountains. So right in between everything. My parents still live in the house that they bought when I was 2. Let's see what else. Oh, you had talked about one of the things I remember when we were talking about customer service, and I had told you one of my little known facts is that I worked at Disneyland. I was like, I worked retail at Disneyland, and you went, oh, you'll be fine. So, so that was I was a assistant manager in the stores in Adventureland, Frontierland, and
So you were a
Tomorrowland.
cast member.
I was a cast member.
Do
Yes,
they
I
did they
was.
call them cast
Oh,
members at that
absolutely.
time?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. You were
All right.
definitely cast members. And then we had like when you had office time and then you had stage managing time. So when you were out on the floor with everybody, you were stage managing. So,
So for my son's 16th birthday, I took him to Disney,
yeah.
and because what are you going to do with a 16-year-old boy, you know?
Right,
And
right.
honestly, it was still like one of my favorite memories of time with him. We had
Yeah,
such a
absolutely.
blast.
Yeah.
But speaking of roller coasters, this amazing thing happened. And I mean, you want to talk about Disney magic, and we can all roll our eyes and whatever,
I don't
but
roll my eyes at Disney Magic.
but we were on Thunder Mountain, and we had been in line, and it was at nighttime, and so this was going to be like our last ride of the night
Yeah.
before the park closed. And when we got on, the fireworks started. And so we would be coming up, and then it would be like,
Oh,
as and then the coaster would curve around, and then it would come back up, and there were fireworks,
oh my
and
gosh, that's
it was
amazing.
like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It was as if it was choreographed to, you know, here's
Ugh.
this mom trying to connect with her teenage son.
Right, right.
What
Yeah,
can we do here to help that along? Anyway.
exactly.
Anyway, all right. Well, I suppose we ought to close down because we are in the middle of registration. And as fun as this is, we do have a lot of other work to do.
Yeah, yeah.
But we hope that you will join us. And if you're listening before February 15th, 2026, you can go to 12by12challenge.com. That's 12x12challenge.com/membership. And if you're listening after February 15th, 2026, and before January, whatever, of 2027, we really, really encourage you to go get on our mailing list because throughout the
Definitely.
year, as Kelli talked about our emails, but we send emails to non members too with all kinds of fun stuff, guides, checklists, information about our free book chats that are
Yep.
open to the public. And you can get on that list by going to 12by12challenge.com/newsletter.
And if you go to the membership page and membership isn't open, there'll be a place to add yourself
Yeah,
to the newsletter there
yeah.
as well. So,
Yeah. And this is only episode number 2
yeah,
of this brand new podcast, but we would love any likes and reviews wherever you listen to your
subscribe.
podcast, and
Yeah.
subscribe right wherever you enjoy your podcasts from. So with that, we will see you next time. Ciao for now.
Bye.
Guides, checklists, information about our free book chats that are
Yep.
open to the public. And you can get on that list by going to 12by12challenge.com/newsletter.
And if you go to the membership page and membership isn't open, there'll be a place to add yourself
Yeah,
to the newsletter there
yeah,
as well. So,
yeah. And this is only episode number 2
yeah,
of this brand new podcast, but we would love any likes and reviews wherever you listen to your
subscribe.
podcast, and
Yeah.
subscribe right wherever you enjoy your podcasts from. So with that, we will see you next time. Ciao for now.
Bye.
Do it together so never you fear. It's a handy little way to help you kick into gear. You're amazing, exciting. Look out, 'cause you're writing 12 by 12.
12 manuscripts.
12 by 12.
12 picture books.
12